So for we have a subprogram. Copy the same thing for others. Copy the code for other subprograms. Then we can change the values, right? For one, yeah. Whole charge is given. Per head charge, whole one should be 4,000. Extra hour charge is 5,000. Is 10,000. Whole charges plus per head number of guests. Number of guests we have to pass as parameter. Extra hour hours. Extra hour charge is here, so we have to pass extra hours as a parameter. Decoration charge is there, and what is this? Deck.
Deck is the normal one.
Whether it is needed or not, right? So that is also a parameter, right? That has to be passed. Yeah, I think they have some numbers. Decoration no will be 0. Decoration 1 will be yes, no. So that's why they are multiplying it. Otherwise, you can't multiply a Boolean value like that. Okay, so the equation is fine. Print estimated cost of all vanilla for number of guests. Guest is estimated, right? Same values for whole number 2 is 5,000. Whole charge. That's the whole charge for the second one.
So the whole charge is the total of third one, total of it's equal to 10.
Really? Given in the paper. Whole charge is the same. Okay. Same for right. Per head amount changes. Right. So one number 2. Extra 6,000. The values change. Decoration charge is 11,000. Okay, 6,000, 7,000, 12,000. Fine. If guest is less than or equal to 100, less than 100, it should be low. So if decoration is yes, respond is 1. Right now you can see in this one, they have given, this is where you can get the idea of calling the function, right? You can see whole number 1, and there are 3 parameters sent, guest, extra hour, and respond. So we need to update the parameters here, right? And we have to look at not these variables, but the variables they have used in the calculation. You can see the first value that we are passing is guest. That's the number of guests, right? And in the equation, they have used number of guests, no guest. So that's the first parameter that we have to pass. Okay. Update that, right? What is the second one? Second one, you can see EXR is what we are passing as argument. What are they taking it as? They're taking it as EXTRAHR, extra hours. Is that so? No, EHR. Yeah. Hours, right? EHRS. That's the second parameter. And also third parameter. Third parameter is respond, but they take it as deck, right? Deck is the parameter they accept. Then carefully look at the arguments that you are passing and the parameters they accept. So those parameters will be the same for all the functions, right? Just copy it. Simple. Very easy.
So is it extra HR or EHR?
This one, no? See, this is the EXHR is the argument that will be taken by EHRS, because you can see that's the one they are used in the equation. And change the name of the pole number one is number two is cinema. Start is right now. Okay, so now we can test the first one. Right, you can test the first form. If that works, you can just copy this and paste to others, right? Okay. Always save it as spec before you start, so that you can keep the original as a backup. Change the name first. Q3A finished, and then start running one. Elif. Okay, you need to comment this, no? Elif. We have to send that imagine cup this thing. It's on 25th this month. You didn't leave the account? Register?
Yeah.
They had some files, some resources. You have to send at least one. List is not defined. In the main program, we have to input, no? Yeah, this we have to input. Input the number of guests. Main program, we can ask for the number of guests. Guest equals input, right? Guest is int. Put the number of guests. Then how many extra hours you might need. That is EXHR. EXHR. The int, no? Input. How many extra hours you might need. Okay. How do you decide on the second one? In the next parameter, next value to be passed. Do you need the whole decorated? Do you need the whole decorated? No. That's the next one.
No, the identifier.
Identifier?
So the
No, we have to send it as respond. Okay. it is taking it as deck. See? So see here we have to put deck.
Shouldn't it be deco? Because it says if
Deco?
deco, if all one would be deco.
Yeah, that deco is this one using that is for this one. This do you need the whole decorated? That's deco.
Yeah.
So they have
So
used
that's
the
deco, not respond. Yeah, that's deco.
yeah that's right.
That's deco.
That's deco. Then we have respond. Then we have deck. Three variables. So we need the whole decorated. That's a textile. You know? You need the whole so yes or no. So I think it's better we display the values that they had in like no
Fourth period
yes
begins.
no like that. Then we know what exactly we need to enter. Right. So we have three inputs from the user, right? Yeah, that's all. And then we, if guest is less than 100, print close. If deco is yes, respond is gone. Okay, easier. We have like okay, we'll test the first one. First one works. Number of guests 100. You can try with the sample. How many extra ones? One. We want the whole to be decorated. No. Nice. Respond is not defined. Before this thing, right?
Yeah, Facebook.
Respond equals 100. But here we are assigning, right? That oh right. We are assigning it only if it is yes. No? That was known. Deco was known. Right? Otherwise, here it gets assigned. You don't need to separately assign it, right? But this will get activated only if deco is yes. Right? Yeah, either you can define it here. Respond equals 0. So anyway, if you don't select, it will be 0. Hundred, one. Oh, wrong spellings. 100, 1, 0. Always fine. Oh, this is 70. Yeah, they have 70. Yeah. What did you get? 400. Is that correct? Shall we put the same value as yes? 1. No. Yeah. That's check that first. 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 3 will do. Take the It's not given. Is this something that's probably one? So here it has given this. If they go AC, they go no, correspond zero.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You. Okay.
All in space. The steps they have given the subprogram for one. In millimeters, it has to be the same for all the subprogram. You copy the code for all.
They use input.
Yes,
Parameters.
then you have to check carefully what are the arguments that we pass, what is the order of the arguments, right? How have they used the parameters in their function, then we feed the function. But the three arguments, three parameters in the correct order. Next thing was to test the one is condition for all number. We can call it for this. Very easy. There should be less than or equal to 250, no? See number. Everything else is same. Now you test for the second one. 250. One. No. Right. Now let's get it for number 3. 500. Is 500. It's vanilla. Same thing. Else print not enough space. Playing music. Yeah. Did you think that they are shouting is singing? Or maybe it detected the noise and wanted me to add background music. No? Sometimes you put background music to cancel the noise. 500. Okay. You can check with my values. I'll check all three. 100. We'll test the bound values, right? 100, 1, no decoration needed. For 250, extra was 1, no decoration. That number of guests 500. Test those. Test for those values. Briefly explain the purpose of using subprograms in codes. Well, that, right? It reduces the lengths of code. It makes it easy for troubleshooting. It's easy to solve the problem if you divide it into subprograms. You can call the subprogram many times after defining it once. It makes the code more efficient, easy to debug, and more. Right? As part of the design stage, programmers create a test plan. State two main columns you must include in the test plan. Well, test plan is kind of a table-like thing where you define what you are going to test, right? In the form of test cases. In the form of test cases. So you should have test case number, right? That is to identify each testing individually. Then you should have what you are going to test, the testing component, right? What you are going to test. Then you should have the sample data, right? Sample data that you're going to add. Then you can have, these can be in different orders, right? Then you can have then you can have expected result. Expected result. Right. And then you have the most important column, which is the actual result. Actual result. So when you're implementing the test plan, you're filling the actual result column, right? And then you can compare with the expected result and actual result. If they are the same, your test is completed. Okay. Right. Last one, right? Last one was somewhat difficult, no? I had two students from CS Colombo. That's so different, right? So different. Compared to Candy students. Well ahead. Interesting thing is they don't know that they have a branch here. Is a manager of Urban Jungle Zoological Park. She wants to implement a program for the information center in order to provide details effectively to visitors. Carlos wants to see a sample. Test data has been included in the code: animal ID, animal name, animal type, animal class, born here. Write a program to find and display the oldest animal in the zoo. With this, which is name, animal type, and the year born. Total number of animals in the given animal class, 5 animals. Okay. Did you notice that there were 2 animals born in the same year? And the oldest, 2 oldest animals. What is the oldest year? 1982, and there are 2 animals, right? One is a reptile, the other one is a bird. Okay. Which means they're expecting us to output both of them, right? Or shall we change? Don't know whether it's a mistake.
So, but there's two animals, like, there's two animals for 2019,
Okay.
there's two animals for 2011.
Yeah. But they want the oldest animal. So there are two animals for oldest animal. So should we display one or two? Now that student I told you, he displayed only the first one. In his method, he displayed only the first one. So should we display all of them or both of them or one? Okay, shall we do it for one? Like we'll change one of those values. And we'll take the reptile, leave the script. I'm going to do it as 1983, right? Later we'll check. But according to the question, we should display both. Or shall we try? Shall we try displaying both? Right. So it is a 2D array, right? We have rows and we have columns. Right. And I think there was a mistake here. Don't you think? Enter the current key in 4 digits. I think this was accidentally taken from the first activity where they were looking for a leap year. Yeah, wasn't it?
So we can just put it into the year.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We can change it. Right. So what should we do? We should find the oldest animal in the zoo and name it. Right. There's no use input, right? So we don't need this. There's no use input. Need to go through and find. Okay. Now the thing is this: we need a loop to go through all the records, right? And then we need to look at the year of every record. That is the last value, last column of every record. The technique is this: we can take the first value as the lowest, like we assume that the first value is the lowest, and then what we can do is we can compare this against the other values. Okay, and if there's a value which is lower than this, we can replace the lowest value. Understand? Something like
Something about some, but it's not.
yeah, it's not also.
Because the
Yeah, but in bubble sort we were swapping.
so
Yeah, here we don't swap. If you want, you can use bubble sort also. For this, that will be more complicated. What we do is what we do is this. We assume that the first value is the lowest. So we put it to another variable called lowest. And then we go on checking other values to find out whether we find a lower value than this. If that value is lower than this, we replace the current lowest. And ultimately, when we end, we find the lowest value. Simple. Right? Let's do it. First, we need the loop to go through all the records, right? So, for we can take it like this. For I'm going to call it rows. For rows in zoo record. Right. So if you use this method, you're going to access every record. Right. For rows in zoo record. Again, I'm using in range. If you use in range, we have to use indexes. Right. So I'm going to test this right in the exam. Right. I don't know whether this would work. So how do you check whether this is going to work? I'm going to print. Okay. Print rows. All right, let's see whether it prints the rows, right? Before everything, you say this with a different name in the sense you put finished so that you have backup, right? Make sure that you do that in the exam. There you go. See? For rows in zoo record, print rows. Okay, that's an easy way of going through every row. Did you understood?
Yes.
Yeah, this method, right? We don't use the in range there. In range we are going to use for the columns, not for this. This is rows, right? Adarshana, did you get it like this?
Yes.
So that is testing it. So I don't need that. Now I need another loop. Actually, I don't need that because what I can do is if I can access every row, I can specify the column number and straight away take it without a loop, right? For example, rows is the whole row, right? So if I can call zoo record row and the column number this one 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, again let's try that out, right? I'm going to print like this. Print zoo record. Right. When you're accessing a 2D array, remember you need a pair of square brackets like that. So the first one I'm going to have rows, that is the row number, each row. And the second value I'm going to specify the number. Right? What is the number? 4, no? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. 4. Okay. Let's see whether it prints all the years. No, you can't call it by the thing. By the array name. List index must be integers, not the list. The row is a list. No? I'll use the in range. Use this one, right? The 0 to length of I used a different method. I can't remember. So for rows in range 0 to length of this. Now we'll use rows here. This should be the name of the array. Okay, right, there you go. For rows in, we will change the photo, right? For rows in range 0 to length of zoo record. Print zoo record rows 4. Row numbers with the 4th column. Check whether we have got all the years 1995 to 2003. Yes. Fine. Do it after that point. Also, how is the post rate?
This weekend we have a mock exam.
Okay. What are the modules you do now? These days?
It's like the basic activity stuff.
Did they start programming? Not yet.
No, not yet. That's in the second semester. All the second.
Did they start physical class?
Physical happened, but then like after the whole project started, they made it online.
Online.
They had a physical class on Saturday. I couldn't go to that. Have to do this weekend and do the exam.
You didn't go there at least once.
No, I went about.
So, how many are there? You went
50 also.
50. You must be the youngest.
Yeah, I am. They all know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 categories? Classes? Yeah. Okay, now what do? You have to check everything, right? Whenever you check the record for the lowest, you can do the checking for the class as well. Right? But that ignores the else if. If so, we put else if here. No, if we put it if no. So we need to check the class for every record. We check the class. That is 3, no? 3 equals first count is reptile, so we take reptile. If that is true, you increase the reptile count. You know the shortcut, right? The easy method plus equals 1. And now we can always duplicate this 7 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These bugs. Fish.
and similar. We are fit. Print number in each class. Box. Get 2 lines. Okay. Enough?
Yes.
2 lines. I told doctor, sir. Don't worry, doctor, there are 2 lines here. he asked us, his answer back. So I was just keeping quiet until he asked the question. In front of everyone. They asked us to stand up and give the reasons. They do it every after every for this book after every term test. Hello. Hi. You're not attending the class.
You came for the class.
You come for this one. Paper 2, you are not coming. Basically,
Oh no, that the online I got it. The power cut, sir. You did 9 to 11. It started at 9.
Power cut is 24 hours.
No, 9 to 11. And you started 9 to 11.
Yeah, you should have told me not to have it at that time.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Really?
I did.
You are very someone, not me. Okay. Shall we have it tomorrow? Today I got grade 11s. Tomorrow maybe you or morning or because here
Morning.
you don't have
I
much
have
to-
literature.
here.
Yeah, tomorrow.
At what time?
I think I'm pretty sure in the morning.
Check
It didn't say exact time yet.
Check with ma'am and let me know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Then yeah.
So is that what is the laptop problem?
Yeah.
So we will.
Oh, yeah. Jagat. Ayat.
Oh,
Not Putulango, Jagat Ayat.
oh.
Just show it. The one who is in front of Mr. Buddha. Correct. So then he didn't ask any questions. right?
Hmm.
I was keeping quiet. The last moment before the slide move to the next one. Everybody says problem, no? Who's me? Should have pensed the paper was difficult. What is there are two lines?
I didn't study like for any subject. Then the best part is like my class teacher was showing my work. They said, I was like, I studied my mom is calling you. She said, why didn't you study that? Reason for you keep going.
But you had marks, huh?
50 or something.
Others? Oh, for this one.
For this question.
No, no, I mean for other subjects.
That's something. I didn't study for this, but
What was your high score? No, no. Oh. 90s. Was this the lowest?
Oh, no, yes.
Yeah.
Everything was above 50 or something.
Well, the problem is like for SOA, you need to get 90 to 100 to get 9.
Yeah, but in the actual edits, I
Ah.
think it's different.
It was 63, and you had I think 60. You had 60, you had 59 or something.
59.
Yeah. But don't take any chances. Let's target like at least 75, 80. Okay, we have 2 reptiles. 1, 2. 5 nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's right. Right, done. Everything's done.